Howdy folks, Nathan and Andre here with two very special vehicles from GMC, which are similar but very, very different. Am I right, my man?
Heck yeah, we're very fortunate to be one of the first to have two very special SUVs. The 2021 GMC Yukon AT4, the off-road model, and of course the ultra luxurious 2021 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate.
Ultimate, this has everything. Now, at the end of this video, we have something special for you because one of these vehicles has a 5.3 and the other one has a 6.2, and we want to play a game with you. We want you to identify which one has which, but that's at the end of the video. For now, we're going to do a walk around and show you the exterior and the interior of these vehicles.
Yeah, Nathan, do you want to start with this? Because these vehicles are bigger than life, in my opinion, because you got giant bodies, giant grills. So you want to do the Denali first?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so first of all, one of the things you're going to notice is that it has this really neat pewter finish going throughout. A lot of chrome, a lot of pewter, a lot of bling, and that's the whole point of this vehicle, is to have a lot of bling because you spent a lot of money on it, trust me. Now, in terms of the overall design, it really does kind of sparkle when you come over here. Have a look at those 22-inch wheels. Those are 22-inch wheels. Massive. And in case you don't know where that money went, Denali. That is impressive. You know what else is impressive? Now bear in mind, both of these are not the long versions, right, Andre? What's the long one called again?
It's called the XL. Big,
right.
Huge, but these are already big. And dude, for 2021, these are all new. And we have all the numbers, all the specs, fuel efficiency. We're not driving them today, but we will be very, very soon.
In the near future. But one of the things you get with this vehicle, because of awesomeness, is quad exhaust. Yeah! Manly! I love it. Now why don't you take a tour of the exterior of the one that Andre is driving, the AT4, which is right over there.
Yeah, come along guys, because I like what GM is doing. And this has to do with Chevrolet in their Tahoe and Suburbans, and over here with Yukon and Yukon XLs. The AT4 model, it's their off-road edition. You guys know Denali because Denali has been, you know, that nameplate has been around for almost 2 decades. The AT4 is something they're doing that's new. It's an off-road version, very unique look, a very unique bumper. You can see kind of, I mean, the headlights are very, very similar. They're both LED. But then once you go down, the bumper covers change, and this one has a lot more ground clear, a lot better approach angle. Ground clearance is the same because both of these have their air suspensions. These are fully loaded models. The GMC Yukon Denalis are entering dealerships right now, but these Ultimates are not yet. We're very fortunate to have this Ultimate. And of course, just quickly around the side, before we go inside on the Denali, these are 20-inch wheels. Check them out, versus the Denali Ultimate's 22s. But this very unique design, it's very GMC. And of course, you have the AT4 insignia and different tires. These tires are meant for more all-terrain driving. This is a Wrangler Trail Runner, a Goodyear Wrangler Trail Runner tire. So it's not a full Duratrack, but still very, very capable. But there's something different about these two in a huge way. And Nathan first is going to show you the Denali interior. So go in the passenger side. And then I'm going to show you the interior on the AT4. And you will see an enormous difference.
Yes, when I think of class and style, I think Nathan, because that's what this has. It's more than just that, though. You actually get an entirely different interior with the Denali over the regular GMC and, of course, the AT4. So, what do you get? Well, you get all this. Swaths of leather, tons of it, wood, chrome, and a unique dash. This is actually a different angle than the dash that's in Andre's truck. And you'll see there's a difference in terms of just the angle of the transmission buttons. Pretty cool, right? Let's fire it up. Now, from where you're sitting, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but this is something extremely important aside from the music that you shouldn't be hearing. Yeah.
All right, do it one more time. Hold on. Come along.
Now, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158
Right, so it's kind of limiting the revs while it's sitting here, but
Yeah, about 3,000 RPM.
3,000 RPM is the limit when you're sitting still, but still, it sounds nice.
It does. Now, both vehicles have an interesting setup when it comes to camera systems. So, yes, you have a lot of stuff to select from OnStar and all that other stuff, but you know what else you have? You have a trailering package, and you have a very cool camera setup. And this is something that GMC actually had on their older AT4 Sierra 1500, and I love that. And there goes Andre, skipping along. Once again, both vehicles have this, and this is great for towing and for going off-road. Now, I discovered something. If you trigger this button, okay, so now it's off, you get these full views, right? Full views. And then if you trigger this, boom, you have this 360 above view going throughout the various settings.
Could you see me a little bit?
Of course I could see you dancing around. You are a sexy man. Okay, so you have that. Now, this section is one of the few parts that actually is similar to both vehicles, but all of this is unique, and that's including this nice wood here. You'll notice that in his, it doesn't have it. You also, of course, have this section here, wireless charging, which is great because it's much larger than the older ones, which means that a large phone or a phone with a large case on it may be able to fit in there, which helps quite a bit. Now, I want you to check out Andre's because it's totally different.
Yeah, come along. You guys jump in the passenger side. I'll walk over here. First, before we get in, check out, the seats are totally unique. This is kind of the AT4 style, and you've seen this on the GMC Sierra trucks as well. This is basically the stitching and the theme that goes throughout the GMC lineup. But take a look here. Yes, the screen size is similar. It's about 10 inches in as a diagonal, but this design looks like a Tahoe. The Denali, GMC is trying to differentiate because the Denali is their, it's a well-known brand. It's the most luxurious and the most valuable brand they have for GMC trucks. And this AT4 it's an off-road edition, but it has a very similar interior to the one in not only the other Yukons, but also like a Chevy Tahoe and a Chevy Suburban. There's a little cubby to hide your sunglasses. Nathan discovered it. You can put your phone in here. This is a phone, iPhone XR, but an XR doesn't quite fit. Sunglasses would fit very nicely in there. And like Nathan was saying, look, the center console is way different. I still have wireless charging, and we both have a movable center console. Check this out. This is very neat. This is a new feature for 2021. What this does, not only does it kind of get you extra storage and extra place to put things, but in this way, especially with the captain chairs in the back, the rear passengers also have cup holders, easy access. So this is very, very neat. Like Nathan said, both of these trucks gas V8 powered for now. I know you're wondering about the 3-liter straight 6 diesel. That's coming by the end of the year, 2020. So right now, right here, we don't have a 3-liter Duramax quite yet. But the interior on the overalls is bigger than ever before because they changed the entire structure, frame, etc. It's now independent rear suspension, as you probably already figured out. And I'll show you rear room in a second after Nathan shows you the engine. But can you listen to this on the driver's side really quick? All right, let's look under hoods. We asked you to identify these engines, which one is which.
Pop the hizzle.
All right, let me pop the hood. The hizzle is open.
That goes up really easily, by the way.
Very easy.
Okay, here we go. Now this is up to the cameraman. I want you to go from this engine to that one, back and forth a couple times. Guys, I want you to tell me the difference between them. Keep looking.
All right, you gotta get more up close.
Yeah,
Nathan,
yeah.
point. Can you point?
Engine. Okay, now Andre, you point to yours.
So, engine.
There you go.
So guys, one thing we noticed obviously is there's no like designation. There's no sign that says 5.3 or 6.2 or 3.0. We know it's not a diesel. There's one little clue, right? If you want to read the label, you can read a label and find out. But they look identical, dude.
They do, except.
What?
Okay, so you guys had enough time to put that through your minds. Okay, so which one do you think it is? All right. If you look, you can tell this is where the valve cover is. And this is all the way out here. The distance between this one from the firewall here versus that truck over there are very different. One is longer than the other. And in this game, it is about length. I wanted to show you something else too, by the way.
What are you saying?
Nothing. Okay, so check it out. By the way, it says do not spray in this area. Do you know why? Because this whole thing was built to take water that's being shot in to the front end of the vehicle and actually move it up and over and deposit it over here so it doesn't get splashed into the engine or overwhelm the radiator. That is why this was built. It's either for that or it's a storage shelf.
All right, so I'll give you this. Your engine bay is longer, or your engine is longer.
Yes, it is indeed.
420 horsepower,
Uh-huh.
460 pound-feet of torque. This is a 6.2. This is the big engine. It's the same engine that they offer in the Sierra trucks as well.
Yes.
You can kind of see it right here, 6.2. And the power ratings don't change for the Yukon or Yukon XLs. By the way, guys, you can get both Yukon XL, the long wheelbase,
Uh-huh.
and the short Yukons in both Denali Ultimates, AT4. You can pick and choose. The Denali could be two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. AT4 is four-wheel drive only.
Right.
There's also SLE and SLT models, the more base Yukons. And the power on this, 355, 383. So the same power rating as the other 5.3 liter V8s. 10-speed automatics on everything from now on all of their big SUVs.
Right, and a majority of their big trucks too. Now on top of that, there's something very special
Yes.
about a rear diff that you can buy for these vehicles. It's not the G80.
It is not. But before we move up to the suspension, which is really important too, right?
Right.
We have to talk about fuel efficiency rating.
Okay.
Four-wheel drive.
Yes.
This is.
Yes.
16 combined, about the same as previous generations.
Okay.
18 combined. So yes, you're getting way more power, but you're also sucking down more fuel.
Right, right. And the big trade-off really is that there's more volume interior-wise. These are actually larger vehicles.
Than the previous ones.
But despite that, there's some weight savings, and with all of that, they're basically the same MPG as before.
Yeah, because they also gain a little bit of weight,
Right.
because they are larger vehicles. And I'm also gaining weight.
That's what
anyway,
so am
anyway, so come over. So check this out. Both of these, because they're top of the line, they have air suspension, so you can go up and down. You can have entry mode. Maybe Nathan will demonstrate. Can you demonstrate the suspension?
Let's fire it up.
You also have magnetic ride shocks, adjustable. They have sensors that read road conditions and all that stuff. So you can have an entry and exit height, which is the lowest. If you can go low,
You want me to go low first?
how low can you go? Oh,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you noticed, but this space is going to start to shrink. Is it working? And then there's a normal ride height. And then there is also one off-road height, which is an inch higher. And then there's another ride height, which is 2 inches higher than normal. Is it doing anything, or do I need to close the hood?
Lower the hood, and I'm going to lift it all the way up. So I'm going to put it, now the only way you can get it into its highest mode is to go into 4 low.
Yes.
And the only way you can go into 4 low is by going into neutral.
And talk about the transmission controls really quick.
Okay, so the transmission controls are right here. As you saw, Andre's was at a slightly different angle, but about the same height. But they're all push button now. In order to trigger them, you have to pull, not push. Okay, the only thing that you can push is park. So if you want to go, and neutral, by the way. So reverse, you have to pull. Drive, you have to pull. Neutral, you push. Park, you push. There you go. Okay, so now I'm in 4 low, and over here, you push this button, and over here you'll see there's a display, and I am going to go for maximum ground clearance. And I can already feel the rise. Check it out. Feeling the rise on it.
You can kind of see, it's a little bit hard to tell on camera, but it actually makes a big difference. And also Nathan was alluding to the rear differential.
Yes.
So when you do equip them with the active suspension system, which means, once again, air springs, not regular steel coils, magnetic ride shocks, you also have an option of ELSD, electronically controlled limited slip differential. So what does that mean? That means it uses clutches in a precarious situation when you're going over obstacles. It can actually lock the clutches and send equal power to both sides or vary the torque side to side. It's basically an electronic way of doing a locker or imitating a locking differential versus like a G80 like in a truck, which would be a mechanical system.
I feel I'm lowering finally. Okay.
Or I can feel some air.
Yes, I'm going down now.
Oh look.
This is going to the entry height, which is the lowest height.
You're gonna squish my arm. Ow!
How do you feel about that?
Ow!
100 GM.
This GMC squished my. No, it did not. It's okay.
All right, I think they got the general gist of these vehicles.
Yes. So we gotta talk. So we talked about the engine performance. We talked about fuel economy. Yes, there is a slight difference between these two. Finally, price.
Yes, please.
Price. Well, price goes up a little bit year to year because it's the only generation of truck. The Yukon, the regular wheelbase, not a very super long one, starts at around 55-ish. The AT4 starts at around 66.
Right.
Because it's already a four-wheel drive model with all the styling and
Red tow
tires. Red tow hooks for towing. Well, or pulling somebody out.
Pulling somebody out.
Yes.
That's what they, yeah.
And the Denali starts at around 68-ish. Of course, prices can go up with options, especially for an Ultimate. And if this was an XL, the long wheelbase, I mean, you can get into the $80,000 range.
That is a lot of dough, but it's also comparable to a lot of the competitors out there as well, right?
Yeah,
like Lincoln.
Absolutely, yeah. Lincoln, which is a premium full-size SUV. There is also Lexus, which can be higher priced for the LX models.
Right.
But this has way more space than the Lexus because Lexus is an older platform. So what do you say to end this video? I get to climb around in the back to just show the room.
I would love it because I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Go for it.
So let me show you the back. Really quick before we wrap up. We kept talking about space, right? I'm just over 6'2". In the second row, I'm just as happy as a clam. Both of these are the same wheelbase. Have plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom. These have panoramic sunroofs. These have the rear infotainment systems where you can see the navigation. You can play games. You can play your, video devices. You can link them up. Look how easy it is to get a hold of the cup right here in the console. Control your temperature. It's all really wonderful. Back here, more space.
I had a question for you. Now, since they went to an independent rear end, they were able to free up a little bit more space inside, right?
Yep. And that has to do with legroom and everything else. So let me
There we go.
open this up. It can be a manual operation with these latches. It's also powered, so you can push a button. Let me get in the third row. Look at this. Dude, this is unbelievable. I can sit relatively comfortable. I'm not too upright. I still have a bit of headroom. Still have a little bit of headroom and good legroom. Check it out.
Now, if this was the XL, you'd have a lot more room.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's even different for that. Even the XL would be way more. Okay, I hope you can see that. I mean, I'm in luxury. I mean, these vehicles are getting much larger, and partially it's because all the other vehicles are getting larger, right? Like the GMC Acadia has a little bit more space than ever before. So these Yukons had to grow.
Yeah, like the Mini Countryman. It's huge.
Yes.
Totally cut you off guard
It's
on
like
that.
3 Mini Countrymen.
Yeah, or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things are massive. And here's another example. Andre, once again, he's 6'2". Look how tall. This is the high ride height. It's not the highest though, but it's taller than he is. So if you have a low garage, you might want to keep that in mind to keep it on the low side.
Yeah, guys, I mean, when you see these vehicles in person, you finally get the scale. Yeah, it's one thing to see them, you know, in pictures and images and videos, but as soon as you're next to one, you can see the incredible scale. And before we close, of course, power lift gates. It's okay. The speed is a little bit slowish.
It's on the slow side.
But once again, the cargo space, this floor is lower than before because of the independent rear suspension. We can't talk about how it drives quite yet because these vehicles came from GMC to us and they want to be fair to other outlets and magazines.
Right.
So we're not quite talking about how they drive, but
But we will be shortly.
yes, that comes in September. But behind third row, dude.
Yeah, that's how you sneak in from Tijuana back into the California area, I noticed.
Yes.
The whole thing about these vehicles is that they want to be first with everything. They are first when it comes to interior space, but in terms of other performance levels, it's interesting to see how they trade ups and downs with the Ford products that are out there that they compete directly against.
Dude, I cannot wait to actually test them. We're gonna do some off-road testing with the AT4.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some towing with the Denali Ultimate. Stay tuned for that. That's coming to TFL Truck in September. So it's a little bit of a wait, but finally we can bring these SUVs to you. And this is unique because you cannot find many AT4s at dealers right now.
No, and personally speaking, I think it looks pretty cool. Hey, by the way, are they going to make a diesel version of these?
Heck yeah, it's coming by the end of the year, so we have to wait till maybe November, December.
Yeah.
But guys, go back to tfltruck.com where Nathan and I and the rest of the team are, and we continue to write stories. So thank you. I'm gonna sign off.
Adios, amigos.